here we are once again. Uh, Dorothy, Dimitri, and Cameron. We are going to do a review of Judith Hill's Back in Time album. So, let's jump into it. The first track is Cry, 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 which she just played live on The Late Show. What was it, last week, I believe?
A couple weeks ago.
So, I'm sure a lot of people got a chance to see that performance. And what do you guys think of the song?
It's a beautiful song. Very beautiful song. It's like a modern bluesy type of song. And I think it's a song that definitely, I think it may be the one song that best shows her vocal talent. She can hit them high notes, and it's a great song. It's just a great song where you can feel the passion and the emotion behind what she's saying, and I really enjoyed that. I wondered about it being the first single, because I thought that there was a song or two that might have been a better choice, but in regards to the feel of the album and showing off the vocal range, it is the best one to show off. So
I'll agree with that.
So I get with it now.
Yeah, she's got an amazing voice and very soulful. So that's a quick summary of that song. It's just a really soulful song, and like you said, it does really showcase her vocal talent, which there's a lot of there. So
tremendous.
Dimitri, what do you think?
I love the song, and having heard it live last week just put a whole different feeling for me.
Yeah.
But we can get into that later.
Yeah. Sneak peek, me and Dimitri got to see her live. So.
And I got to see her live as well.
That's right, you did, right before we did.
Yeah. On the same week, we all got to see her live.
How about that?
Did she?
It is great.
Did she perform this one, Cameron?
Yes, she did. She did. I think that was the second song she played in her set.
Okay.
And that was the song that I was like, oh, that was the time right there when it really resonated. Like, okay, she ain't no joke. If I done that before, I shut up after that.
Before we continue with the songs on the album, though, how did everybody get musically introduced to her? I mean, did you guys know about her before Prince showcased her?
Yes.
Okay.
Honestly, no.
Okay. I knew of her from This Is It. So
Michael Jackson, yes.
Yeah. I didn't watch The Voice though, but I think I remember hearing about her being on there.
I remembered, and the funny thing is, I saw This Is It, and I didn't, and I do remember that scene with Michael singing with her with "I Just Can't Stop Loving You," but I didn't know who it was. So it was a background in my mind, one of his background singers filling in for Saida Garrett. So, and didn't think anything of it, and by the time she got to The Voice, I had stopped watching it. So I didn't know of her being on there and stuff. So when this album, hearing about Prince working with her earlier this year, that was when I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Dimitri, you remember her from This Is It, I take it?
Correct.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I think there was something about her that stood out to me when I seen that. Obviously she's got an amazing voice, but I think the reason that I probably paid attention was because she was specifically chosen. I mean, she sang background, but she was specifically chosen also to sing the duet with him. So when I heard that Prince had picked her up, off of Sony in order to give her some freedom to actually get her album out, that as soon as I heard the name, I was like, okay. So, its talent doesn't managed to get by Prince without him, you know, getting in there to do something with it, you know. And especially when he's always been an artist that's tried to help others, you know, maneuver through the system, use the system in the ways that it's going to be positive for them in their career, and you know. So for her, I mean, she's 31 and she's finally getting her first album out. That's late for, you know, anybody in that industry.
Right.
But it's never too late in, you know, one way. So I think it's pretty cool that he stepped in and did some of his purple magic to make that happen, because, you know, this is another, we were talking about Leanne LaHavis. This is another one of those singers that if it hadn't been for Prince, we might not still hear for years and years to come.
Absolutely.
So, again, thank you, Prince. So, moving on. Let's see. What is the next track? Because I am prepared here. Turn Up. What does everybody think of Turn Up?
It's funky.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just all out funky.
Yeah, it's a really energetic kind of a party song.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. It's the first song from that project that I loved.
Mm.
You know, it just makes you want to get up and jam and dance and groove to it. And then when someone purple shows up towards I was like, what? I was not ready for that at all. I mean, even when I keep hearing the song, I'll be in the bus or on the subway and I crack up. In my car, I'll be cracking up over that one part alone. It's like, what am I gonna? If I let someone hear this part right here, what am I gonna say to them?
Yeah, I think we all have that thought at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love that, because that's one of the stuff, you know, with Prince music, I dare say, that I love is the humor that's there.
Right.
It's a unique form, and I'm glad that it is on right there.
Mm-hmm.
I really am. You know, it worked. Him and Judith Hill worked really well together on this song.
Definitely, yeah. And I actually made a mistake. The first track, see, I had it up in title, and first song that came up was Cry, Cry, Cry. So first track of the album is As Trains Go By. So let's go ahead and go back to that one.
Oh, cool.
What do you think of that?
That one also is funky. Even better live. Just
Mm-hmm.
Y'all got to hear that. I don't think she did that song live in New York, but to hear the band do that song, I'd probably be on the floor.
Yeah, well. Yeah.
That's my jam right there. Oh.
This is a good opener.
Isn't it though?
Yeah.
Oh, great opener. Great opener. And
go ahead.
And I really thought about the lyrics with this, because it's talking some deep stuff, especially what's going on, you know, in our country right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where racism is concerned, and we're definitely seeing it's still alive and kicking.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yep.
And this song is on point.
When she got ready to perform this one, she basically said what you just said, that it's a song that has some deep lyrics to it, and a message that needs to be heard because of, I mean, just in general, but also at this particular point in time when we're still seeing some of those issues going on, you know, a lot more than we should be. So that's another thing that makes a good artist, is somebody that is socially aware of what's going on and speaks to that in their music, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, hearing it live was amazing. The band was on point, of course. But But overall, I think this is a great opener. It's got some very good, points. The line about in the chorus, help me out here, guys, because I can't even think right now. The chorus where she says,
like see my
you're, you're kind of cutting in and out, Cameron.
one way or oh, can you hear me? Okay, how about now?
Gotcha. Okay,
I think it was
might as well be famous because I ain't gonna be white. So
where or another.
Cameron's still going in and out. Can you hear him, Dimitri?
I can't hear him at all.
Okay.
But yeah, that line right there is that's the ear catcher, and she's really coming very solid with that one.
Mhm. I mean that's just the reality of it right there. I mean,
Correct.
point blank, and I think that's maybe some people might take that the wrong way, but if you just really sit back and look at where any minority is coming from, especially here in the United States, and it doesn't matter what career path you're in, that's the reality of it. It's you have that I don't know if I want to call it a stigma, but it's just something, if you're not white, then you may not have as many opportunities
Correct.
sitting in front of you. And, I think that's probably, it's one of those lines just, Prince has done that all his career. And I don't know if he had any influence on her writing this particular song. But, again, she's stepping out and it's a little bit controversial to say it, but it's also the truth. The other point I was going to make about the song in general is, what do we recognize about the actual music in that song?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Thank you.
I'll make sure I was actually charging my iPad, and I think that might have played a role.
Ah, gotcha.
Wow. I mean, the music just alone was killer for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like the thumping bass. I mean, it sounded sounded Prince for sure, but in terms of any specific, I bet you it's like right there, and I just can't see it.
And I can't, for the life of me right now, remember the name of the exact track, but I think it came from Xenophobia, if it's not the actual track Xenophobia. Yeah. So what I remembered about it when I first heard it was, I'm like, this sounds like what we used to hear when we opened up the website to the MVP Music Club, and that's what it was. Yeah.
Wow, I gotta hear that again because I like it.
Yep. All right. Next track is track 3, "Angel in the Dark."
Another great song. That was a song that I had thought should have been the first single because it is so commercial. It is probably the most commercial sounding song on there. Mm-hmm. With the type of beats that are on there, and just and the feel. And I love the lyrics because the lyrics are very relatable if you're going through a dark time, needing an angel, if you will, to rescue you. But I'm glad it wasn't the first single because of the fact that it sounds so different from the rest of the album, that if it was to be put out and became a hit, I dare say, and not I would hope to be insulting, if you will, but I would be afraid she'd be a one-hit wonder because the rest of the album doesn't sound like this.
Okay.
An artist that needs to be seen and heard by everybody, as far as I'm concerned. And this song should be out there for all to hear for sure because it's got that hit potential. But I'm glad. But it makes me that much more happy that "Cry, Cry, Cry" is the first single of this project. But nonetheless, not to take away from Angel in the Dark, it's a great song.
Mm-hmm.
Great production, great feel, everything.
Yeah, this one, I hadn't really thought about it till you mentioned that, but I can hear this one being something that would be played on the radio, which is not necessarily a bad thing.
No.
And I hope that at some point we do hear her on the radio, because I think she needs to be heard. You know, that's probably looking at the track list now, that is probably one of the songs that, you know, of all of them would probably make it. But you know, at this point, I would take it, because I'm like, you know, she needs to be heard, and if that's what has to happen, is she has something commercial just to get her out there. You know, I mean, she's already been seen, and she's already been in a few different, you know, situations where she's getting her talent out there and everything. But now that she has an album out, people need to know that.
Big time.
And I'm hoping, really hoping, that this one makes it into stores. You know, that's not just a download thing, because it's gonna. I have a feeling it's gonna get lost in the shuffle if it doesn't get physically released.
I agree with you.
I think the people that would appreciate it most are people that are gonna actually be able to go pick it up and listen to that physical copy, rather than somebody that's, you know, just streaming or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is another good track. It's probably not my most favorite track, but it's not a bad track. It's not one that I necessarily skip over. But if, you know, I'm in more of a turn up mood, I'm gonna skip to, like, you know, some of her more upbeat songs. But it's a really beautiful song though.
Yeah.
Beautiful Life. What do we think of that?
I felt that for me the overall meaning of the song is that she is being thankful and grateful.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
I can hear that, which, you know, is very fitting for where she's at right now. I would think.
Yeah, for real.
You know, I think anybody who gets their shot is thankful and everything, but for it to have taken so long and her, you know, stick through that process,
right?
It's a very fitting song. This is one of my favorites, I think, and it's another one that I feel like shows her vocal range a little bit. You know, just I don't even know. I mean, the soulfulness I could hear definitely in Cry, 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 but there's something different about A Beautiful Life that you hear with her. So, yeah.
It's melodic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very, I won't say it's simple. I think it's above simple, but there's just something about it that's just, you know, what's the word? It's damn. When the word
it's one of them songs. That's what it is.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Pure and simple, and it really is, and that's another song that is just as even more beautiful live.
Yeah.
There's that song. It's a majestic type of song. That's probably the best word for it. She really takes it above, you know, well above the Call of Duty live, I think. You know.
Majestic type of song. Okay.
Yeah, just, you know what it was? I'm thinking about when she did it live. She sang the heck out of the song live in New York. You know, it was just her on the piano, and she was like, you know, that and Cry, Cry, Cry. Her voice was up in the mountains.
Yeah.
It was really awesome. And it made me take a second look at that song, because I won't lie, it was one of the forgotten ones for me at first. Mm-hmm. I liked it, but yet it wasn't something that I ran back to, because, like you, I'm in a turn-up mood. Mm-hmm. But after that performance, I went back to it, and I was like, yeah.
Okay.
This is awesome.
See, that's something that's why I like live music, because it brings something more to the table, and something that you might have missed off of the album or out of a song. You hear it live, and you hear something totally different than what you're, just kind of nonchalantly listening to in your headphones. But many times there's songs that Prince has played or other artists that, I've gone to see live. Leon LaHavis is one. I'll go back and listen to some of the songs that I didn't listen to as closely because after I heard it live, I was like, okay, wow, I really do like that song. So, but I think part of it is live, they bring more emotion to the table. You actually are there seeing them perform it and hearing the emotion in their voice that's coming through those lyrics. So you actually get to experience through their talent right in front of you something different than what you're hearing on a record. So I think, yeah. I don't remember. Demetri, did she play this one live the other night?
I don't think so.
Okay, I didn't think so either. I'd love to hear it.
I had to go back and look at the list, which I have.
Okay.
Nice.
In the meantime, what do we think of Cure?
It's hard to put my finger on that one, actually.
You know what? I'm glad you actually said that, Dimitri, because I had to think for a second with that song. I think that song is. It's funny. Someone had wrote in some review that they hear "Darlene Love," and for me, that's the song where you'd hear it.
I don't hear Darlene Love, but I hear Beatles.
It's very in the sense,
it's Beatles-ish.
These pop song.
Yeah.
I hear 60s in it. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's very, I could see, her and two other girls,
Yeah.
In the background.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that kind of song, So and I do like that song. Not that I won't lie, it would be like one of the last songs for me, but that's not knocking it because I think it is a well done song. About she can't get somebody out, she can't get her man out her head. You can't go wrong.
You're right. The 60s feel comes out in this one, which I think fits her voice in one way or another. This is probably one of the ones that if I'm skipping through, this is one of them that I'll go to. Especially if I'm, either already in a good mood or trying to get there.
That's your cure.
Yeah, there you go. That's my cure. But yeah, I think this is probably one of maybe my top 5 in the, if I had to pick a list. Dimitri, anything else on this one?
No, ma'am.
Okay, let's move on to Love Trip.
For me, it's I wasn't so much paying attention to the lyrics of the song, although I do like the lyrics, but I was more or less really paying attention to the actual music, and so I was really getting the jazzy type thing for me, and that's really that element was kind of in my mode for me. So like if it was just all jazz, I'd be cool with that, or just a straight instrumental.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. This one is probably like one of the favorites for me for sure because I really like that jazzy feel. That's another. I mean, I think I've gone through about 3 different genres now that she fits in, but she fits really well, and I mean, she's versatile, right? Which is great.
That speaks to the strength of her as an artist. That she can do anything, just about anything. And then that song is more proof of that.
But it's like an old school jazz feel to it,
Totally a jazz club doing this song.
Oh yeah.
It's definitely one of the most memorable songs on the whole thing. I mean, how you can't. It's hard to get a chorus like "I'm on that love trip." You know, repetition. There's a
Yeah.
lot said about repetition.
Yeah.
That right there is a classic case in point.
Yep. And you know, it doesn't always work, but you know, if it's done right. And this and the music in this one, like Dimitri said, it's you know, it's real like cool, smooth, laid back. It's kind of takes you on a little love trip, doesn't it?
Have a drink on the side and just.
Yep.
You know.
All right, my people.
My people.
My people.
Oh, man.
My people. This is one of my tops on the album.
Yep.
This song has risen for me.
Yeah.
It's
This one was a favorite for me, but even before I heard it live.
right.
But now I'm just like,
yeah. You know. Yeah, it's the funkiness and the you know the serious groove and man, shout out to Mono Neo on that bass though.
Definitely.
Yeah, he thumps that.
Yeah.
It's funny in my case, that was one of the songs I wasn't listening to that much, but I listened to it tonight and I was like, where was I?
Yeah, where were you?
what happened? Because I'm on the bus going, ooh. Yeah, and then before I knew it was over, I was like, what happened? It's great. It's a great song that has a good message, you know.
Yep.
Great song.
Yeah. This one, this was probably a highlight of that night, though.
Oh yes.
But imagine what that song was like live. Man, that's a workout.
See, and this is cool because you got to experience her just with her and the piano, which is always a cool experience. I would love to see that. But then we got to see her with the full band.
Right.
And her on the piano. So, yeah.
That right. I don't want to say envy, but man, I bow down because y'all got to see the fullness of it, and
oh yeah,
that I can't wait. I hope to God that she tours in one way, shape, or form with the CD because I really want to see it fleshed out more with the band behind her.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Let's go on to Wild Tonight.
That song. Oh, I love that song. You know that the beat and then the music, the horns, and all that. I be getting wild, but there it is. See.
Yeah, the horns are tight on this track.
They sure are. Oh my God, it's just funky. Funky.
And this is another one. I mean, the music just sounds princely.
And what I got from it, it's like musicology part 2.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, how about that?
Mixed with Get Off. And that's it.
Yeah. There's a little bit of that in there. Yeah, this one. I mean, you can throughout this album, you can hear
heavily.
You can hear him in there, but
yes.
But I don't want that to sound like that takes anything away from Judith and
correct.
Without
question. It's just you could hear his touch on it, which is really cool because they work well together. And I think that like with that particular track and him taken from a song that he did in the past and giving it to her to do something different with, that's all great and it meshed well together. But at the same time, there's some tracks that you don't necessarily hear him in there. You don't hear any kind of an influence in there. So there's a good mix, and overall though, I just think that he was the right person to produce her.
Yes,
I agree.
I'm sure she learned a ton just because he did this in such a short period of time, but that's what he does. But I just think that mix right there is great, and I hope to hear some more, you know. So, but Wild Tonight is it's one of I can yeah, you've mentioned musicology. I can kind of hear that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a great
because
comparison because I hear that too.
mhm. Okay, we already did Cry Cry Cry. So let's skip over that and go to Jamming in the Basement.
Another great song, another fun song that you can jam to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can just see. I can just picture her and the band in a basement.
Yeah.
You know, in one way, shape, or form, just getting down and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's another funky song.
Yeah, and as my man put it so eloquently, we in the basement, y'all.
Right. Right.
Uh-huh. This is a fun song.
Yeah.
Uh, I think it just kind of, I don't know, gives you the feel of how this was probably put together, you know.
Yeah.
Just and she said that too, that they were basically just jamming, and in the mix of all that came an album. So, and I guess that's kind of how they Third Eye Girl talked about Plectrum Electrum coming about. So I think that works because it probably takes the pressure off of the other artists. You know, they're not necessarily knowing that they're recording an album,
Yeah.
but you get to hear a little bit of um, that live feel that I was talking about earlier, because they're just comfortable in their element doing their thing, and he's capturing it in the meantime.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I hear the song and even just see the title of the song, that's what I think of. Like Cameron said, is them in a basement or, you know, whatever, just somewhere jamming and just having a good time the way the song sounds.
Mm-hmm.
That's a song I would love to see a video to.
Oh, yeah.
See her little girl, you know, to where she is in a basement.
Mm-hmm.
You know, basics kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay, the title track, Back in Time.
I love that song.
Yeah.
I love that song. It's just, you know, atmospheric
Mm-hmm.
and, you know, the great lyrics, and the music is just killer. The music is killer. The voice works with the music and all. I mean, it's just the title track. I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah.
You know, it's just.
This track is new to everyone. I think this is the one that was missing from the free download that we got. So I haven't spent a whole lot of time with it, but I think it probably just speaks to where she came from and her journey to where she is right now. And just really kind of looking back. I mean, it's kind of an emotional song. So, you know, you hear, you know, the atmospheric is the way you described it. That was good description. It kind of leads you, just the music itself just kind of leads you into this, you know, idea of, you know, looking back on your life and where and everything that's brought you to this point. That's my description of it.
A great one. This is me.
I got something totally different. For me, I mean, I got that it was almost like a confession of a deep love for a person. And that's what I got out of it. And then the guitar solo, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, shout out to Prince for that guitar solo, but
yep.
Whew, yeah.
That guitar solo was everything.
Yeah, this I got to spend some more time with this track because I was listening to it earlier and hearing stuff that I didn't really hear before. So but I mean, but that's something that, you know, that's why no matter who it is, when I get an album, I always listen to it, you know, front to back, at least a couple of times, and then
Mm-hmm.
then I'll start spending more time with specific tracks. And like I said, this one's still new to us, so. But I really like the song. I like the production on this song.
Yes.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
the overall sound of it is just really cool. It's actually this one sounds a lot different to me than any other song on this album, but it still fits. So, okay, that concludes the album review. Overall, what do we think of Miss Judith Hill?
Judith Hill is fine. Even finer in person. Hi, Judith.
Yes, she's a beautiful woman. I was talking about the music, though.
She can sing to me any day.
Okay.
Yeah, the album is nonstop, and you usually get an album that you kind of skip through tracks or whatever. Like, I don't like that song. No, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
No pun intended, but
How about that?
Yeah. I can see. I think if we just kind of sit back and think about her journey within the last 6-7 years, Michael Jackson picked her to not only sing backup but sing duet with him.
Mm.
And now, unfortunately, that didn't go anywhere because of the unfortunate demise.
correct.
But she made it on The Voice, and I like I said, I didn't watch that, but to my knowledge, she made it pretty far.
She also worked with Stevie Wonder, and that's saying something.
She worked with Stevie Wonder.
Cow.
She's done a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't know about. So,
Right.
But now here we are, and Prince reached out to her.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that if anybody hasn't heard the album yet, and you just think about the people that have picked her to be a part of their projects or work with her on hers, that says a lot. Just that list of people right there. And to have somebody like Prince produce someone with a voice like Judith, it's a great mix. So I do recommend that you go stream the album, download the album, find somebody that's got it and listen to it, something. Hopefully this will make it out as a physical copy. I would love to see that and have it in my hands. But overall, even now that we've all seen her live, she can bring it on stage too, and that adds an element to it. Because now it's not just an artist that we got on disc somewhere. Now we know somebody that can actually do what she put down. So, although I will say this, I absolutely, this is the first time I got to see her live last weekend at Paisley Park. And I think the show was great, and I was happy to see her. But I think that she has more that she can give. I kind of felt like she was holding back a little bit. So,
but remember, it was a party for her.
But still, I know that it was a party for her. But not only that, but then when seeing her on the Late Show, even there, I felt like she was holding back a little bit. Like,
okay, yeah.
Like, because with Cry, 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 that's a song where, you can belt it out and make people understand that you know what you're doing when it comes to using your vocal instrument. And I felt like we hear it on the album, so there's a little bit that I don't know if she's just holding back until a certain moment or something, but I just feel like she can bring a little bit more, and I hope she does.
Mm-hmm. I feel where you're coming from with that. I mean, when I saw
That's
her,
no diss. That's no diss. I'm just
hmm
saying.
when I saw her last week, I could feel the shyness.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and you saw her with a band. It was just her, and she was one of those where she, not that she didn't come alive talking to us, went between songs, but once she sang, that was when she really came alive.
Mhm.
And again, no diss, but that's just where she is right now. I actually ran into her, by accident, and backstage,
Mhm.
and I could tell, there was a little bit of nerves, and she's just focused on what she was doing. So I
Mhm.
didn't get in the way of that because it was before the show. But once she was up on that stage and put her hands on them keys, it was a wrap,
Mhm.
and it was a beautiful thing to see. It was almost like watching a butterfly
Mhm.
come out and emerge into the sky. And I think that it was something to behold, and I was already impressed with her, but that live show with the few songs that she did, it just cemented everything. And for the sake of the album, I think it's a fantastic debut.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Any standards, solid, solid, great material from start to finish, and you see the range of what she can do. She's not just R&B. She can do pop. She can do jazz. She could do blues.
Mhm.
She could do a slow burning ballad.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
she, she's showing us that she is an artist and she is not one to play with.
Mhm.
Think and I hope and pray that with the right promotion and team, she can be a serious contender, a powerhouse.
Yeah.
One that I dare say, girls and gay men would be idolizing, and she would be worth the idolizing if
Mhm.
I did say. Not for the sake of I want to be like her.
Okay.
I really following her music. I want to see what she does next. To see one of her songs, performed on songs like the Voice or other talent show, because those songs resonate like they do, like they should, in that regard.
And
You know,
and I hope that she becomes one of those artists that you know that little girls look up to, rather than some of these other artists that are out there that are giving the complete wrong message to young girls.
Right.
Um, Judith, she carries herself very humbly. Um, there's no tricks, there's no gimmicks, there's no you know lack of clothing. you know,
Yeah.
we talked about that with the whole Leanne LaHavis thing, and she's the same way. You don't have to do all that because you can rest on your talent. And
and she's beautiful on her own.
right, so just roll with that. I mean, that you don't need to do anymore.
Right.
And it's an unfortunate reoccurrence in the industry that a lot of female artists will start off like this, and they'll end up something totally different. And it's no longer about talent anymore. It's about being commercial and being, you know, sexual, and putting all that out there where you don't really need to if you really just focus on talent. But that's where the industry gets their hands in the pot. And I think Judith is somebody that can just, I mean, just with this album, you can see how versatile she is. She can do jazz, like you said. She can be commercial if she needs to. She can do pop, whatever. But um, if she, I mean, you can tell that there's a powerhouse there. We've heard it. I think there's more that she has. So hopefully that'll start to emerge as she maybe just becomes more comfortable with, I don't know, stage presence or whatever. Maybe she's just getting used to how things are. Um, I'm sure that it's nerve wracking having an album out finally.
Yeah.
So You know, I wouldn't. I know me. It would be. I wouldn't even be able to get up there. So, you know, who am I to say anything, really? But somebody did mention. I didn't get a chance to meet her or anything, but somebody did mention um, speaking to her at Paisley, and she was very shy, kind of really reserved. And I think that's good, though. I mean, not that, you know, she shouldn't be open and bubbly or whatever, but if that's not her personality. But at the same time, if she stays humble and she just rests on her talent,
Right.
then I think it will take her a long way. You know, it may not be what the industry likes. You know, she may not win on shows like The Voice or get anywhere with music companies like Sony or whoever else she might sign with, because they're looking for commercial, and that's not what she is, and she shouldn't be, because based on what commercial has become, I wouldn't want her to be. It wouldn't fit.
Not at all.
I agree.